Hello and welcome back to part 4 of this audio series called the Foundational Movement Patterns. I'm Harris Benjamin. Very excited for this one today. As always, I'm excited for all of these because these movements are so incredibly foundational to the success of your fitness endeavors. All right. So part 1, we covered the introduction. We overviewed all the movements. Part 2, we covered the squat. Part 3, we covered the hip hinge. And today in part 4, we are covering the lunge. Just a quick side note, if you happen to listen to part 3, which I hope you did, I hope you're going in order here, you definitely should. At the end, I said that we'd be going into some upper body movements today. My apologies, I got a little bit carried away. It's not quite true. We're going into the lunge today, which is a lower body focused movement. And then we're going to be in the upper body for the subsequent episodes, all right? I was going to edit that out and redo it, but you know what? Why, right? We're human. I'm just letting you know now. So anyways, onwards. The lunge, it is an incredibly important movement pattern for everybody to be doing. Again, all of these 6 movement patterns are more or less equally fundamental to our, results and our health and our well-being and strength of our bodies. But the lunge is unique because it is the only one that has to do with single leg movement. All right. The squat builds incredible strength and resiliency in the lower body. The deadlift, the hip hinge category, builds incredible resiliency in the lower body as well. But generally, those two are meant to be on 2 legs, right, for most of the time. Whereas the lunge has to do in some way or another lifting one leg into space and stepping as you lunge up and down. So you could do a forward lunge where you lunge your foot forward and then come back. You could do a reverse lunge where you step back and then forward. You can do side lunges. You can do even step-up variations where you're stepping up onto things with a single leg. But at the end of the day, the lunge is so crucial because not only are you getting the strength and muscle benefits and performance benefits from the lower body, but you're getting the stability and the balance work that comes from being on one leg. Right? There are many people who train and they might even be doing squatting and hip hinging patterns, but they don't do enough lunging or single leg work, and they're missing a lot of the stability and health that comes from a great, strong core. All right? You really build another level of core strength and stability when you are amazing on one leg and you can powerfully move your body around safely through the lunge pattern. All right? So again, there are so many variations of this. Depending on your ability and comfort, right, you can shorten the range of motion to get started. You can, of course, use just body weight. You can even hold on to something. Some people, I've trained some students who are, much older or maybe have injury history. For example, I had a student who was 80 years old plus, and she had a lot of difficulty with the lunge, but that doesn't stop us from training one of these fundamental patterns. So what I had her do was just simply hold her hands onto a sturdy chair in front of her or even a table. So that way the balance was less of an issue, and she only did very partial range of motion reverse lunges, right? So she had the hands supported, she had a smaller range of motion, but was still working on the lunge and still getting the benefits of the balance and the stability, right? Whereas you could take someone who maybe is in better condition or is more comfortable and they can do full range of motion lunges. They cannot hold on to anything. They can hold on to extra weight, lots of weight even, and you can progress from there. So the lunge pattern is anything, again, where you are stepping forward or sideways or backwards or up onto something with one leg, and you are having to balance and support yourself while you, lift and while you push. So the lunge is an incredible pattern. Again, you can hold anything in any way. You can hold weights down at your side. You can hold it up on your back. You can hold it at your chest. You can lunge in all different directions. But the main thing is that each and every week, you are building your lunge pattern, right? So if you are someone right now, and there's an easy way to test this, right? If you perform any basic lunge, you can, again, look up a video of mine and you can see how it's done. If you perform the lunge and the balance part doesn't seem like a big deal for you, like you seem like you're pretty comfortable, doing the motion, it's just maybe not that strong, or maybe it is, then that's great. Good news for you. You probably have a higher than average level of stability and control in your body, which is amazing, as well as through your knees and your ankles and everything. So that's wonderful, right? Keep progressing from there. If you notice that it's really hard for you to find your balance, like every time you try to step back, you fall over or you lose your balance or you sway, that's okay. That just means that we need to focus even more on the actual movement itself and getting comfortable before progressing heavier weights and bigger and better things. So again, like I said earlier, you can hold on to something with your hands. You can get creative and find ways to be comfortable, but you need to build the lunge. Okay. The last thing I'm going to say with the lunge before we finish the episode for the day is that you're also getting an incredible benefit in stability in the ankle joints and the knee joint, right? Among others. But the ankle and the knee really, really have to become extra stable and strong to be able to be on one leg with your body weight by itself and with extra weight and resistance. All right. So our bodies are built from the ground up. And what I mean is like the only connection we have with the earth when we're moving around is the bottom of our feet, right? We walk on our feet. From there, the ankle is the first joint up the chain, right? We have our ankles that support all of our weight. Then we have our knees, which support most of our weight. And then our hips, which support, a little bit less, but still a lot of our weight. You see what I'm doing? So from the ground up is where we need to be extra strong and stable in order for everything else to work better. If you want to prevent as best as you can, future injuries, if you want to be more of a badass with all the activities that you want to do, you want to be strong and stable from the ground up everywhere. So if you get really, really proficient at lunges with just the movement proficiency and then being able to lift a lot of weight with it and going multi-directions and all that kind of cool stuff, your feet, your ankles, your knees are going to be so much more resilient and strong and healthy. It's going to allow everything else that you do in the gym to be better. You're going to get better results from everything else. And again, you're going to be more injury proof. So again, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent with this topic as far as injuries, but injuries in some way happen because our supporting muscles and joints are not prepared for, a certain effect or a certain, kind of just thing happening to the body. So if someone has really, really immobile and weak ankles, even if everything else above is pretty good, like they're very susceptible to injury, right? Because with every step, their foundation is not strong. It's almost like building a tall, strong building on a really, really weak foundation. It's just ready to break. So if you can make that foundation better, right? If you can gain mobility, gain stability, gain strength in your feet and your ankles and your knees through lots of things, right? Lunges are an incredible way to do that. You are going to feel more resilient all the way up. Okay? So the lunge is this pattern. We have so far completed the foundational movement patterns for the lower body, right? The squat pattern, the hip hinge pattern, and the lunge pattern are all lower body focused. Today's episode is part 4 of this series, right? That includes the introduction. Next is going to be part 5, where we're going to get into the upper body push category, all right? So we're moving to the upper body movements. Join me in that next one. I hope you've been enjoying this series so far. Remember to share this with anybody in your life that needs to be training more and training smarter, and that is everybody. So you can share it with a lot of people if you'd like. I would love it. I hope they would love it too. And ask questions anytime. You can DM me on Instagram at coachedbyharris. You can send me an email, harris@coachedbyharris.com. I would be very happy to help you out, as you already now know. All right, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening.